What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Y'all come on in here. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I am so sorry for the delay. I had to reschedule Umar's live stream to Monday. Leaving my weekend pretty clear and free. Have a lot to do this weekend. So if you haven't noticed, I have not scheduled a live stream for tomorrow or Sunday. More than likely because I highly doubt after I'm done tomorrow and Sunday, I might not even be in the mood to go live. I almost rescheduled this to Monday as well, but I wanted to do a quick live with you all and go over a couple videos you all sent and touch on the eclectic journalist. Shout out to her. She did a video about some dude claiming to be a medium and can talk to Charlie Kirk. Yeah, another idiot claiming that they can talk to dead people. It's so crazy. And they claim to be Christians. I'm like, man, that's stuff like that whole all that witchcraft. Nope. Nope. So if I do go live tomorrow, I'm definitely gonna touch on this video from Crystal Beyond Labels. She actually went to I think it was the school board meeting for Jay Witt, my brother in Christ and Morehouse brother. You guys, if you don't know, for those who don't, Jay Witt podcast, his wife works for a local school district here in the state of Georgia. She's a superintendent, and they're trying to get her fired because of podcast videos that Jay Witt did on his channel a while back. This wasn't even recent. And so they want her to lose her job. So of course, to ensure that we all show him the love and support he deserves. And I just, think it's ridiculous to sit here because if they start something like that, it sets a horrible precedence. Does that make sense? You'll have people now being put in hot fire because of what their spouse said in a video on their channel. And it also takes away the aspect of free speech and expression. Jay Wood has the right to express his opinions and views on any topic on his platform. But they're treating it as if it came out of his wife's mouth and not his. So they want to penalize her for what her husband said. And it had nothing to do with her or the school. The city of Decatur school had nothing to do with the school board. He didn't say anything about the school board in these videos. So they're trying to connect this so that she can lose her job. And she retires next year, I think, or something to that extent. So it's like, why are you waiting to, when she's so close to saying, all right, I'm out. I'm going to just collect my retirement check. School board have fantastic retirement plans for teachers and educators and those that work in the school system. Their retirement package, oh my God, it is ridiculously good. It sucks that teachers don't get paid what they deserve. But the retirement itself, the contribution that the school system put in for, like a retirement package, it's amazing. I know here in Georgia, it's almost like 30 or 40% of the kind, maybe like a dollar for dollar sort of thing. They set you up well. Let me just say that. So let me show you all this information here. If you want to support Jay Witt and his wife and email the school board, please make sure you reach out online. Here is the link I'm going to drop in the chat. And here is the Board of Education's email address for the city of Decatur. So if you guys go on this website, let me drop it in the chat here. You can email the school board and show them your support for Dr. Whitaker. She's a PhD, I believe. She's actually a certified doctor. So please email the school board and flood them with your support for Dr. Whitaker. And continue to pray for my brother. Pray for Deacon and his wife and two daughters. I know he has one in college. Like this affects her, their kids as well. And man, you got to imagine the toll that it takes not only on his kids but on his wife. And he, being her husband, being the father, he has to protect them. So prayerfully, he's not overly stressed or worried about anything, but it's unrealistic to not be concerned. So pray for him that he maintains the peace that God gives that surpasses all understanding. And show him your love and support. Email the school board and tell them to kick rocks. The audacity for them to print t-shirts talking about pro-ho. The audacity. Make sure you put that in your email to the school board. How dare you all try to get this woman fired? And she has done nothing wrong legally or ethically or morally speaking. She has done nothing wrong. And Jay Witt is entitled to his opinions. How did they even find the video? That's what I want to know. I wonder if she ever tell them, yeah, my husband has a podcast. Oh my God. Listen, for those who still have a regular 9 to 5 like I do not mix these two things together. I have never told anyone in my place of employment that I have a YouTube channel. 2 of them. Nope. And I'm going to keep that separate because I think it's imperative. I'm curious to know how that they find his videos. Because, man, that's some trifling stuff, Candy asses, if y'all pulling this stunt. You get haters when you start telling the truth. Can't make this up. So email them, tell them the audacity and the gall to make a t-shirt talking about you pro everything from top to bottom, and then you end it with pro ho, and you wear this t-shirt around minor children. What message is that sending to these girls? It's okay to be a hoe. We're for that. Yeah, no. Teen pregnancy? Yep. We support that too. The hell? Yeah, no. Build a school though. Oh, hell no. You finna lose your job. This is stupidity and hypocrisy for me. So reach out to them. Email them. Show them your support, you all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let's get some music on and get started. I'm not going to keep you all too long. I have a long day tomorrow. I got to get up early. And quite frankly, I'm tired. So just wanted to hang out with you all for a little bit. Let's see here. Let's get some comments in as well before we get in on this. So when we do go live, hopefully I can be able to go live tomorrow, even if it's a little late, and do like a quick 1 hour live stream. We will go over Crystal's video because I'm interested to see. I have not seen this, and I wanted to save it to watch it with you all because I'm definitely interested in seeing this board meeting that she attended and how it went. And shout out to No Reply. He sent me this video here of Candace, y'all. And all of you all tag me into some great content, great videos. Like I said, I'm not going to be too long with you all tonight, but of course, you all know I have no quarrels with doing a 6-hour live stream. Marathons are our thing over here. So you guys are awesome. You guys typically hanging there with me the whole time. And, it's a blessing. You all choose to hang out with me. And I'm just honored that you all choose to do so. So please, please, please do me a favor. Hit that like button. And make sure you guys are hyping the videos up. And before we get started, the TED Talks video that I went over yesterday was copyrighted. I'm trying to see, has anyone else had that problem? That's why the stream went out. The TED Talks video was actually copyrighted. YouTube hit me with a copyright claim. So has anyone else that's played that video had the same issue? I didn't even try to dispute it. I just simply trimmed it out. But that is on the main live stream video. On the horizontal view, the second option, that whole spiel about the TED Talks is still there. They didn't get that one. I almost hate that I said that because the candy asses are stupid. They so trifling. They'll go out and do some things deliberately to get you hemmed up, especially on YouTube. But if you guys want to see the coverage on the TED Talks, make sure you check out the vertical, um, the one with the cell phone view. Why am I messing that up? That's how tired I am, yo. Is that the horizontal stream? Yeah, it's the horizontal stream. So if you want to see the full live stream from yesterday, check out the horizontal stream because the normal one is not. I just trimmed it out and kept living. It's just, I was like, man, I thought this thing would be like all the views on it. I know I can't be the only one that covered this TED Talk video. Candace, you didn't like me saying that you were still stupid. Shout out to you all. Let's get some comments in right quick. So this video here is just gonna compare how Candace, her speech and pattern and vernacular and all of that is drastically different when she spoke at this Blexit thing. So the way she was speaking in the TED Talks video, I've only heard a small portion of this, maybe a good minute. It is drastically different. Almost like she has a whole different personality. Didn't George say he feels like he's married to what? About 30, 40 different women? That was a telltale sign. Because who says that? That's not a compliment. George Farmer himself said in one of their little interviews they did together, sometimes I feel like I'm married to multiple women at once because he doesn't know what he's going to get at the end of the day. Y'all remember that? Hit the 4 of you remember that. You remember George Farmer saying it. He said that out of his own mouth. So the funny thing is, for that one statement, he was not lying about that. Candace acts like she has at least 5 different personalities that she will flip-flop through in one video on her show. In one video. And mind you, her videos over there are pre-recorded and pre-scripted. And even George Farmer said he felt like he was married to multiple women at the same time because she's got all these different personalities living in her head. So, Candace, you can get mad at me all you want. George is the one that said it in the whole video. And you still have that video up. So if you don't want anybody repeating it, you might want to take that damn video down. Otherwise, we're going to repeat it. Funny how you told on her. George thinks Candace is stupid anyway. When he has to teach her about lightning and thunder, he knows she's dumb. Oh, man. Before we get started, y'all, let me get in the chat right quick. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Francisca, shout out to you. Shout out to my mods, you all. I have the best mods on YouTube. JP6 Ghana up in here. Woo-cha! Sherry is up in here. What's going on? I'm just going to put up comments as we go along. CC up in here. I see you. D. Hampton says, LLC, I appreciate you being a fair and classy lady. I saw your remarks back to me. I agree with you all the way. I've been only been listening for a couple weeks. Found you when you had Artie on. Oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much, D. Hampton. That warms my heart. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got to let God, and I'm glad, that I saw part of his video today. I think he kind of said the same thing in the beginning of his. And for any other content creator out there, don't let anybody get power and control on your platform where you're allowing them to get to you. People are just gonna do dumb things, say dumb things, attack people, drag people through the mud for whatever reason. I don't believe that the Bible says you must like a person. We are commanded to love one another as we love ourselves. But it doesn't mean we have to agree with everything we all say or do, or even, a personality trait. We don't have to really care for it or tolerate it. That's the beauty of YouTube. Over 1 billion users. I will not care about those who, less than 1%. They want to see him drag my name through the mud. Let them. So I'm glad that the end goal is let's keep our foot on Candace's neck. That's it. We don't want anything to happen to Erica Kirk because Candace, but you know, hopefully when Erica Kirk drops her lawsuit, we can all go through that and laugh and giggle together. Because Candace, you got it coming. Can't make this up. Thank you for that, though. That's an honor to hear that. Thank you so much. Candace need to be stopped. Tracy, you show enough right. Jackie, what's going on? Juju up in here. Shout out to my mods. Y'all ready to get started on this? Nidra up in here. I just wanted to kind of greet you all and make sure I don't miss anybody. No reply up in here. Y'all, my mods deep up in here today. Minnie up in here. Saint up in here. How you doing, girl? How you doing? Jeep lady up in here. Want everybody to feel a little special today. Hope y'all had a great week. Mama Sage, I see you. Mauricio, is it? Oh, that's a nice first name. I like that. Mauricio. Shout out to all of you all. Thank y'all so much. All right, let's get to it. Well, let's hear this drastic difference. Shout out to No Reply. Make sure you guys check this out if you can on your own. This is on Candace's channel. I hate giving her a view, but you know, we might as well. Go ahead. Let's get to it. Hit the 4 weeks in here.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please give a big welcome to your Blexic founder and final speaker, Candace Owens.
Wow. Absolutely packed in here. This is amazing.
Hey,
Have you guys been enjoying yourselves? Yeah, you learning a little bit, right? Are you feeling inspired, right?
Hey, Bella.
You know, I had this conversation, which I kind of wanted to reiterate. I was talking to my husband, and he put up the perfect, love that.
What do you love?
Great analogy. He said, the left is like the Titanic.
Yeah,
I want you to think about that for a second, right? A bunch of liberals got on board, right, and said, not even God can sink this ship, right? Not even God can sink this ship. All in the ocean, it's amazing. The media's on their side. This ship is amazing. It's never going to go down. And then they hit a little iceberg.
Thank you, Jen.
And they said, oh, it's all right. It's just a little iceberg. It's the Titanic. Not even God can sink the Titanic. It's a little iceberg. And he likened that to when they hit me in the media, right? Oh, it's all right. We'll get rid of her, right? She was a little loud, but we'll get rid of her. We'll smear her. We'll say she supports Hitler. We'll say she hates herself. We'll say she's a self-hating black. It's fine. We'll get rid of her. It's just a little iceberg. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. See, I was just the tip. What was buried beneath was all of...
It's George. Between George and Satan himself is what's underneath. Candace, you're sitting here, you're coming out with all of these flashing light probes and all strobes and all this other stuff. Isn't that what you tried to clown when it came to Erica Kirk doing that at TPUSA convention? Oh, how dare you have, the fireworks and the lights and the action and the blah, blah, blah. So this heifer has this full lights probe display thing with this music coming out with this entrance. And somehow that's not her being hypocritical. Because according to the code, boy, they want you to think that Candace is the exception to everything in life here on Earth. This dumb alien gets to sit here and go after Erica Kirk for an entrance at a convention that involved fireworks and lights, music, and Charlie Kirk did the same thing. But when she did this with Blexit, somehow they seem to forget this. Man, it's the dumb hypocrisy for me. You can't make this up. So Candace, what's your malfunction? Why do you care how Erica Kirk makes an entrance? It's more jealousy and envy of you to sit here and to get mad at her entrance. Her entrance is boss, okay? But it's no different than the lights and the fireworks and things that Charlie Kirk had. And we even played a video to compare. But no. According to Candace and her dumbass cult members, how dare you come out with fireworks? Erica Kirk, yeah, unbelievable. Candace does the same thing at a Blexit thing Oh, well, she gets to do that. So does Erica Kirk. That's what they're mad about the most. Candace doesn't have any control over Erica Kirk. She can't control her. She tried to do that with Charlie Kirk, but she knows that she is going to miserably fail trying to control Erica Kirk. You don't control how she comes out in an entrance. You don't control what she wears. You don't control how she lives, what she does. And the fact that you're stalking her, Candace, you should have had a restraining order or protection order issued against you a long time ago. She could still file one. And she most certainly will file a federal lawsuit against you. You'll put that woman's life in danger. All because you don't like her coming out making an entrance. This is how stupid and just low IQ Candace is. So she did the same thing, and somehow Candy has to think this is okay.
Blexit. It was 60 years of injustice done to the minority community in America.
What? 60? She said the Jews did it, Lord.
And now they're panicking because they realize they have a problem. And you know what? They didn't put enough lifeboats on the Titanic. They don't really know what's going to happen to the left anymore. The liberals don't know what to think because suddenly Black Americans are waking up and ordaining to think for themselves. The challenge that I have always presented, I have never gotten on a stage and told people who to vote for, what to vote for, why they should vote, because I don't consider Blexit to be a political organization. We're not. We are an organization that focuses on free thinking, the ability to say what you think and the ability to describe to somebody why you think it. That's the most important part. Not just thinking something, but knowing why you think it. Why? Why is such an important question.
What?
I ask people all the time, why do you fight? Why do you get up? Why did you show up and come to Blexit today? What is driving you in the actions that you do day in and day out? I know what drives me. I tell people all the time.
Candace, it's not why you think something. Sometimes that's not a question that people are obligated to answer. Perhaps it's just part of their upbringing to have a certain opinion on things, a certain viewpoint or perspective. Hard words you can't define. Asking someone, why do you think that? I mean, if it just comes down to, you know what? I grew up and I believe in science and I believe that the earth is spherical and is tilted on an axis. I don't believe it's flat. Asking them why do they believe that is a moot point. It's argumentative for the sake of being argumentative, not to learn anything. This is why certain things I just don't debate and go back and forth on because it's so dumb. If you believe that the earth is flat, then go and prove it to us. That's something that can be tested. They can fly their ass into space and look at the planet for themselves. They can go out and sail the ocean sea. And then, if they think they're reaching the end of it, let us know if you fall off the planet. Our gravity is something else, ain't it? Even if you don't fall off, you just kind of go curve around underneath it, Do you really think you're going to end up standing upright? How do you think this is going to go if the earth was flat? Once again, why won't they just go out and test that theory and prove it? Who knows? It's the same thing with Candace. Why are you asking, why do you believe that? And then she demands answers for it. That's where we are now. This heifer that told people to go AWOL in the military just said that she has never told anybody how to vote. But yet she's going to bring her dumb ass over here to the U.S. from Russia to try to convince people to actually let Russia be our influence. What you mean? But she doesn't tell people how to vote. I'm going to try to keep that in mind. See, Candace, it's the hypocrisy for me. Just because you don't want to recognize the definitions of such word does not mean that you're not being hypocritical. You're extraordinarily hypocritical. You have told our U.S. soldiers to just basically go AWOL. Why even encourage people to join the military if you're going to sit here and tell them to do something that would be a crime? That would be illegal. These people could end up facing jail time over that. You're telling people to break the law, as opposed to just saying, if you don't agree with the aspect of any war, don't join the military. And if you do, make sure you put yourself in a position where you don't have to be involved in an actual war. But she doesn't even say that. She tells people to go AWOL, not break a law and commit a crime. Oh, I don't tell people how to vote. So why do you think that we need to be influenced about Russia? Why should we care? Because we don't have to. We don't owe them that. This coming from this dumbass heifer that just said that she doesn't tell people how to vote.
An organization that focuses on free thinking, the ability to say what you think, and the ability to describe to somebody why you think it. That's the most important part. Not just thinking something, but knowing why you think it. Why? Why is such an important...
Hey, Candace, I'll tell you what. I know why I think what I think. I just don't have to divulge it and tell your dumb ass. There. Problem solved.
Important question. I ask people all the time, why do you fight? Why do you get up? Why did you show up and come to Blexit today? What is driving you in the actions that you do day in and day out? I know what drives me. I tell people all the time the story, and I'm actually just floored that I get to say it on this stage tonight. It's going to be extra special, but you know, for me, running around the nation and speaking on college campuses has been something like a nightmare. It's basically just rooms full of toddlers, people crying, overprivileged.
What the hell? Oh, hear this? Oh, no! How old is this video? Oh, Erica Kirk, I hope you're listening. This was 6 years ago. Candace. What the hell? So the very concept, the very business model of TPUSA, which was to go on different college campuses, she is literally dragging it through the mud and saying that the college camp... Did we hear this before? I could have sworn I've heard her say, yeah, I have. I've heard her say this before. I don't know if it was this video or a separate one. I've heard her say the same thing. When she was referring to college kids as spoiled brats, entitled brats or toddlers or something like that. If there's a separate video out there, that means she said the same thing twice. But that goes against the very business model of TPUSA. It's all they did. Now they're going to reach out to high schools. It's like, well, hell, you know, why stop there at college? Let's go on down to high school, where kids are still open to, you know, all kinds of things in life, and it's still very impressionable. And she's sitting here knocking that. Candace, but you claim you have 2 degrees. Does this sound like a woman who actually received 2 degrees from college? Candace, where the hell your journalism and English degree at? Why don't you show your degrees? Because for you to lie about going back to school and obtaining 2 degrees, wow, it sure sounds like you can't stand people who go to college in this video. Why are you dogging out college kids? And yet you claim you once upon a time was a college kid yourself, and then went back to college and got 2 degrees. Either you're proud of your education or you're not. How stupid is this going to get? Candace, you are full of shit.
You know, for me, running around the nation and speaking on college campuses has been something like a nightmare. It's basically just...
She said it's been something like a nightmare. Candace, so you regret going out on tour with TPUSA and Charlie Kirk? You're calling that a nightmare. That's all he did. That was the whole point of TPUSA, was it not? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm mistaken. Wasn't that the sole idea and purpose of him? What TPUSA was for Charlie Kirk to go on different college campuses to kind of, invigorate the aspect of debate, uphold First Amendment, free speech and expression. Wasn't that like the majority of what TPUSA stood for? Touring college campuses? You can't make this up. Am I wrong here? Isn't that what TPUSA was for? Somebody help me out. According to Candace, everyone is a toddler. Where have I heard that before? That's what I'm saying. This girl has said this before. What's going on, Bright One Eye Girl? How you doing? Nikki for Freedom. If I missed you all, please forgive me. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to actually cover as many as I see. Nikki for Freedom is not. I fully see who she is. I can't watch her speak without being disgusted. It is disgusting. Now that she is actually... This is 6 years ago where she was already dogging out the aspect of TPUSA. But yeah, she got the audacity to post up photos and videos of her going out on tours with Charlie Kirk to different college campuses. 6 years ago, she said it's been a bit of a nightmare. He never used the word nightmare when he went out touring. Did Charlie Kirk ever describe going on these college campuses as a nightmare? Because if he has, please send me the video link. I'll be fair as I can get and play the video of him saying the same thing. Because otherwise, Candace is full of crap. And she's been dogging TPUSA out for obviously 6 years. Because she's going straight to she punching below the belt. This girl's punching below the belt. Candace, this was the whole model of TPUSA. No reply said it gets worse. Oh my God. Can't make this stop. No reply says, wait till she starts lying about breakfast and her grandpa and her brothers. What the heck is wrong with her? Candace is crazy. She's out of her mind crazy. Candace, you need to be 5150. George, you're going to have to do it. If you really think that she's going to come back to the U.S. and try to convince the U.S. that we need to be like Russia and we're a superpower, both of y'all asses need to be 5150, George. George, can you come out of the closet? I've had 3 mermaids in here. No. This is crazy as hell. Oh my God. Yeah. This is nuts. I'm so glad we're doing. Shout out to No Reply. No Reply. I'm so glad that we're checking this out. Even if it might be the only video we cover tonight. I just can't stop pausing what I'm hearing because this is unbelievable. So, Candace, you've been dogging out TPUSA for 6 years, you say? Because that's what you're doing. You're literally attacking the heart of the actual organizational structure of TPUSA. That's the majority of what Charlie Kirk did. And somehow that was a nightmare for you when you only worked for him for 19 months. Candace, had it not been for you working for him, I don't know if Kanye West would have ever said your name, because then Dave Rubin would not have been around to introduce the two of you together. I don't think you would be married to George Farmer had it not been for TPUSA giving your dumb ass a job. Are you going to reimburse them for those flight tickets? You know, the one where you use Charlie Kirk's credit card to book 2 flight tickets to go out there to the UK so you can lie about coincidentally meeting George Farmer. George, are you going to pay TPUSA back? I think you and Candace should be paying back TPUSA for those flight tickets. Erica Kirk, don't let her off on that one. Make her reimburse you. I'm sorry, you use my husband's credit card to book a flight to go to UK. Okay, you let your team know I will be sending you that invoice. You will pay us back. No one told you to lie about how you met George. You know John Mappin introduced the two of you. It was unnecessary to use that man's credit card to book that flight, go out there to the UK, just so you can lie about how you met George. And then turn around and realize, oh, that didn't work. I didn't make Charlie Kirk jealous. Child, that should have been the last straw for him. Oh, hell no. Now you want to spend money on this? You want to spend my money so you can fly to the UK when I pay you a salary? What you mean? Well, this is something else right here, Candace. TPUSA bailed Blexit out. Candace, you going to tell these people how you went and drove Blexit in the hole by $1.72 million? Are you going to tell them that? Are you going to go over the taxes that was filed for Blexit? Explain why you spent over $550,000 in one tax year on security detail. Are you going to tell them that? She is not business savvy. The girl can barely do math or pronounce certain simple two-syllable words correctly.
Rooms full of toddlers, people crying, overprivileged, telling me that they're oppressed when they live in the greatest nation. If you live in America today...
Oh my God, you saying that? Oh no, has Charlie Kirk ever said that? Have y'all ever heard Charlie Kirk say that? Boy, this is something else. Hey, Meg, how you doing? You all right? What's going on, Rashika? ESG, I see you up in here. I think Candace always wanted to be a boy from the attitude she puts out there, which is a turn off for real men. Yeah, you know, because Candace, we will never forget the photo of this woman kissing you all over the face. Talking about, I'm Samantha, these I'm still pretty. While a grown woman was kissing you all over the face with a glass of wine. Is that what you do when you get drunk, Candace? Or the photo where you grabbed that woman's butt and you were pregnant and her clothes were wet. Is that what you consider a fun time? Charlie Kirk did not like you, Candace. You never were and you never would have been his wife. If he wanted to marry you, he would have. He didn't want to marry you. I don't think he had a problem doing what he wanted to do. No, the woman he married was the one that was meant for him. That's it. Not your yeast infection smelling ass. You can't make this up.
People all the time the story, and it's I'm actually
I can't get
just
past
floored
this, man.
that I
This
get to
is
say
crazy.
it on this stage.
Like
Tonight.
that,
It's
like,
gonna be extra special, but you know, for me, running around the nation and speaking on college campuses has been something like a nightmare. It's basically just rooms full of toddlers, people crying, overprivileged, telling me that they're oppressed when they live in the greatest nation. If you live in America today, you are the most overprivileged people.
But this heifer said that Jews are responsible for slavery, and it's because she's black that Trump tweeted a photo of her being, you know, vile person of the year because she is. And according to Candace, let's not forget this. She said Jews are responsible for slavery in the United States of America. Oh my God, she tried to pull the race card. She's been trying to pull the race card since high school, when she accused these boys of sending threatening voicemails and messages and all this other stuff, and couldn't even keep her story straight on that. Candace, that lie led to you getting a settlement. What made you think that it would work every single time? See, you couldn't pull that stunt on the apartment complex. You know, the one with the black mold in it. You couldn't pull that same stunt that you pulled on the Board of Education on this apartment community. You sued them, and then you didn't even go to the actual trial hearing. You didn't even show up for the hearing. So you put those people through all that nonsense and buffoonery for nothing. And they issued a judgment against your dumb ass. Did you ever pay that judgment off, Candace? Did you pay the apartment complex for that 7 months of back rent you owed them? Plus court costs, attorney's fees, and all that other stuff. Did you ever pay them that money? Did you ever pay the High Court of Australia's court costs? You tried to appeal a visa, you lost, and they ordered you to pay for their court costs. Did you pay that money, Candace? This is absolute madness. What am I hearing?
People that have ever lived in the face of human history.
Oh, this is crazy.
That is the truth, okay? And so I play this game where the first thing I do when I get on a college campus is I say, before we get started, because I got tons of protesters there. Usually I have Black Lives Matter in the back just waiting for me to say something. At one event at UCLA.
Girl, they not stunning you. They not stunning your dumb ass. Why did you just attack TPUSA's business model? Oh, it was a nightmare to go to those college campuses. What did Charlie Kirk have to say about this? Did he ever respond to her saying that? I'm just curious to know. Did Charlie Kirk ever respond to this? This was 6 years ago. You know he would have had to see it. For her to stand there and say that going to those college campuses was a bit of a nightmare. She didn't say, it was a good, healthy challenge. It taught me how to, debate. Some of the kids there had some really outlandish views, but it was what it was. We can't change their mind. No, she just goes in on how they are spoiled brats, toddlers or something. And, they just so overprivileged. But then her ass is dropping $2,000-$3,000 on a shirt that looks like a dragonfly from Jurassic Park. Girl, if you don't kick rocks.
LA, they actually had a group of people that were playing Beyonce music, trying to drown out the sound so my voice couldn't be heard. You have Antifa outside making physical threats. So I start at the beginning. I say, before we get started, we don't even have to yell at each other. I'm going to ask a very simple question in this room, okay? It's 2019 in America. How many college students in this room, this is what I ask, think that America is a more racist country today than it was in the 1940s? 60% of the hands go up. 60%. Why are you even sending your kids to school? Seriously, 60% of the hands.
What do you mean? Why did you drop out and then say you went back and obtained 2 degrees? See, Candace, I could do this shit all day. Fortunately for you, I don't have all night tonight. But trust me when I tell you, I could run a marathon on your dumb ass for 5 hours. Easy. This heifer is sitting here talking about why they even sending kids to the school. While she goes out and does 2 separate videos talking about, I went back to school and I actually obtained 2 degrees. And, people will stop trying to get information off of Wikipedia. Like her dumbass isn't sitting here correcting Wikipedia. Candace, you want to tell your cult members to stop trying to change George's date of birth? Wikipedia could literally be edited. Information can be edited and updated on Wikipedia. Funny how you won't come out and actually say, when is George's farmer's birthday again? But your dumbass cult members will go to Wikipedia and edit the information. For what? If you don't take any information from Wikipedia seriously, why are your dumbass cult members so concerned about trying to change George's date of birth on Wikipedia? We've seen at least 4 different birthdays for one human being who should have been evicted out of our country and sent back to the UK. How the hell he get his damn ability to stay over here with a DUI? That's a whole crime. We got to be fair across the board. If we want to deport people that come over here and commit crimes and stuff, they're supposed to have citizenship. Why did George get citizenship? Why does he even want to live over here? Now take your ass back over there to the UK. As a matter of fact, George, go ahead and move to Russia. Y'all just go ahead, pack your bags up, and have everything sent to Russia. That way you could go fishing and, still be stalked. And Candace can keep doing her media tour as long as she's not over here. This is madness. Candace, where are your degrees at? Because I don't know anyone that will lie about obtaining 2 degrees. If you don't care about any college education, you're referring to college kids as toddlers, as spoiled and entitled. And then the entire model for TPUSA of touring college campuses, you said was a bit of a nightmare. As opposed to saying it was a great learning experience. I actually learned a lot listening to different ideas. Yeah, but we don't restrict ideas up in here. Here in Blexit, we encourage free thinkers. Blexit was supposed to help Black people in the community, that chose to become conservatives and Republicans and wanted to support their political, party, whatever they align closely with. What community did Candace and Blexit help again? How did it serve any Black community where you're trying to encourage people to at least see from both angles, from both sides of the aisle, to support Black conservatives that are already conservatives? How did Blexit aid in that? What did they do to earn that money where she spent $1.72 million and put Blexit in the hole? What good came out of Blexit? And this was supposed to be Black Americans exiting from the Democratic Party. Candace, did you ever have any, results that we can all review and look at to prove that Blexit was valuable or did anything worthwhile? Other than you spending over $500,000 on security details. Is there any tangible results you could produce to show any impact or influence you had on Black communities where they're Black conservatives? She used that damn LLC as a bank account. Candace used Blexit as a way to just generate money and to fundraise as a nonprofit organization. Nothing more. And she wants to see him talk about BLM is waiting for me to say something. No, we waiting on you to post up your tax returns. Not just Blexit. Now, I want to see Candace Owens LLC and Georgetown Inc.'s tax returns. That's what I want to see. Candace, I want to see your personal tax returns. How much money did you pay Tyler Robinson? Can't make this up.
Let's go off. When I say you got to be kidding me. That is brainwash right there. That is media brainwashing at work.
Exactly.
And what drives me is that, because that's what makes me angry. So many of you guys have followed me since the beginning, since my red pill black days, right? YouTube. When I realized that something was wrong, I decided to start a YouTube channel. I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know that people were going to find me and start sharing my videos, but I knew something was really rotten, and I wanted to present a different perspective. Because what seemed to happen to the Black family seemed to be systematic. In the 1960s, they came around and they started offering welfare, right? Knocking on doors. Oh, you need some welfare for your family. Government help. Let me tell you something. The bigger government gets, the smaller the individual gets. Okay?
But did she say that she was on government assistance and lived in a 1-2 bedroom apartment and had roaches and all this other stuff that her cousin debunked? Candace, you got a settlement from the Board of Education. You understand that's a government entity. Why don't you give them their money back? Candace, let's see you give back that settlement you got in high school. Because your story keeps changing with that either way. Let's see how honest you are. Why don't you give that money back to the Board of Education and say, you know what, I lied about it. Isn't that government help? She said that her mother put her out on the street at 14 years old, forcing her to go live with her boyfriend for 6 months. And her cousin had to come out and debunk that. But yet she's sitting here trying to make it seem yeah, it's just, they want you on food stamps and welfare forever. But yet you went out and say you were a recipient of that. And the only way you could climb up the ladder is by being the loudest person in the room. Not the smartest. You're not smart. We can all say that. Candace is not smart. She's just the loudest person in the room. And it goes after any other Black female conservative that she feels could gain some traction. Because obviously in Candace's world, there's only one Black female conservative, I guess, that's supposed to be there. This is crazy. And now you're saying, shame on all those who are getting government assistance. While she came out talking about, yeah, my family and I grew up on government assistance. We were poor. We didn't have any money. Really? Yeah, okay. But that 30,000 some dollar settlement, yeah, you just gonna forget you got that money? All right.
Is trying to replace family. You have a problem, they don't want you to go to God, they want you to go to government, right? We have a solution. The experiment was Black America. The experiment when LBJ created the Great Society Act was Black America. We're going to give them a little something, just a little bit of something, right? Not much. They're not going to get ahead, but it'll keep them coming back. It created addicts. I call this government addicts, addicted to government. I don't know anybody who has stayed on welfare and gotten ahead in their life because it wasn't built to help them get ahead of their lives. It was built to help them get addicted to government. It is a drug, okay?
Says the woman that cried out for the government to step in when she got hit with a lawsuit from the French president and his wife. Says the woman that wants the FBI to give her evidence from a murder trial, from a murder case. Says the woman that sat here and actually trusted, according to Ms. Snow, Sloppy Joe Kent, who worked for the feds. All of a sudden, oh, you're addicted to government. It's like crack. How dare you get food stamps because you needed it? You have a lot of people that have had to get government assistance at some point. And then the moment they got a good paying job with some benefits, then they got off of it. So you're stereotyping now? How is this supposed to help Black communities again? How is this encouraging to Black communities or to Black conservatives or anything of what she's saying? She just said the college tour thing was a nightmare for her. Was a bit of a nightmare. That's what she said. You can't make this up.
And they knew what they were doing because here was the plan. Once you break down the family, right? You know what's going to happen to the youth. When you don't have mom and dad at home around a table telling you what's right and what's wrong, where's the youth going to go? They're going to pursue that paternity somewhere else. They're going to run to the streets. Suddenly.
Okay, so are you speaking from experience? Because you said on Russell Brand's show that you and your mother didn't get along. They put you out the house at 14 years old and you went to live with a boyfriend for 6 months. Where's the evidence any of that happened, Candace? Your cousin came out and debunked it. So the very thing you're knocking right now is what you claim happened in your life growing up. Somehow, though, George, with his so-called $244 million in assets, affords you 2 houses that are worth well over $5 million. A whole trust, a brand new Range Rover, like $100,000 vehicle. George crashed a $150,000 truck. You're practically living in a mansion in Tennessee. So you go around and drop $2,000-$3,000 on a shirt, and you don't think you're an elitist. While you sit here and talk about somebody having to get government support, while you claim you got government support as well, to which your cousin debunked and said, no, you didn't. From what we know, you had 2 parents in the household, Candace. So either you lying like hell or your cousin lying like hell. Question is, I wonder would any other relative come forward and say, no, Candace is not, no, she didn't get put out. We didn't grow up struggling like that. We didn't grow up with roaches and shit. What's she talking about? But yet and still, your mother, according to your cousin, made sure you and your sisters were on the up and up. On the straight and narrow. Her words, not mine. So you gonna call your cousin a liar, Candace?
Hip-hop artists become mom and dad. Beyonce and Jay-Z become mom and dad, right? You put on a record and you're learning something, right? The angry hip-hop artists are telling you how you should live your life. And that's what happened. And then they seized control of the education system and they started brainwashing because they know the single mom, she had to be at work, right? So it's okay. School's free. Drop off your kid at school. The public school system is free. Fight for the free school
Exactly,
system.
Smiles.
And what happens? You end up with a bunch of brainwashed children who believe they're victims before they even try to get out. They're bitter and they're angry at the world before they even try to attempt to make something of themselves. This is the systemic oppression that exists today. Our education system and the systematic breakdown of family. In the 1960s, there was a guy named Patrick Moynihan who used to come out with a report. In the 1960s, he came up with a report on single mothers. And he said, oh my goodness, we have
You think she would show that report while she's running her damn mouth? I mean, all these screens back here, and you couldn't manage to have that report showing. Candace, you do understand when you're a pathological lawyer, we're not inclined to believe anything you say. We don't owe you that. Your entitlement is disgusting. You're literally entitled to the point where you think people are supposed to believe everything you say. No. Where's this article? She just says random arbitrary things to the point where it's almost so mundane, it makes you not even want to think twice about fact checking. Candace, I will call your bluff every time. Where's this article? Where's proof that you said your mother put you out the house at 14 years old and you went and lived with a boyfriend? Who is his boyfriend? Where those 2 degrees at again?
Problem in the Black community. The single motherhood rate in the 1960s was 23%. He said this is an epidemic. 23% single motherhood rate in the Black community. And they all said, oh, this is an epidemic. Today, as we stand and sit in this room, the single motherhood rate in the Black community is 74%. You want to know why atheism is becoming mainstream?
Where's that article?
Why you see people mocking people? I mean, I was floored to see on The View, Joy Behar, boo, mocking the vice president because he believes in Jesus Christ, right? Because he said that he doesn't go out to eat with another woman without his wife. She was mocking his values. It's become mainstream.
She got her information from Larry Elder
to mock God. Why? Because you have to be. The government needs atheism. That's what they want. They don't want you to believe in anything. They don't want you to believe in family. They don't want you to believe in God. They don't want you to believe in anything but government. And that's what we're trying to reverse. That's what we have to reverse if we're going to fix the issues in our community.
And Tina, you know what's so crazy? I'm not even knocking, like, if that happened to her, I would actually be questioning her parents. Because, she was 14, right? But at least you can say, hey, I was rebellious. Candace's cousin came out and debunked it. Her cousin came out and said, I don't know where Candace got that from, but that is not true. Her mom made sure that her and her sisters, her mom and dad, they made sure they were on the up and up. So for her relative to come out and debunk that, it's what is mind-boggling to me. Why she would want to lie and say that she got put out the house at 14, lived with some boyfriend for 6 months, and we don't know who the boyfriend is. We didn't even know who her mother was. And her cousin came out and debunked her and said, no, I don't know where she got that from, but that's not true. That's what's so crazy about that. It's like, girl, why are you lying about this? Why are you lying about your upbringing? All of this is for her to get sympathy out of people. It's to pull at people's emotional heartstrings. That sucks happening to any kid. But Candace saying it happened to her turned out to be a lie. And it's like, why lie about that? Oh my God, it's the craziest thing to lie about. But see, that you're an example of how being honest and truthful, and you turned out to be all right. It's not crippling. It's just why lie about it. It's so crazy. Candace. Oh man, no reply said it gets worse. Y'all. God. She just made this whole thing. Candace so stupid.
I tell people all the time that I was lucky. I don't know which way I was going to end up. I was a liberal. You guys know I started on the left in the same way. But I was fortunate that in my formative years, I grew up in my grandfather's house and my grandmother's house. And it was, a little different. My grandfather grew up when there was actually real racism in America, right? Not just, oh, you offended me and my feelings, so I'm going to call you a racist. I disagree with you, so you're a racist, right? Real racism. He grew up in the segregated South. His first job was when he was 5 years old, laying tobacco out to dry on a sharecropping farm. This is what it was in the South, in North Carolina, in Fayetteville. One of 12 brothers and sisters. But he got up every single day and he went to work.
No reply. Is this true? Which relative is she talking about? Is that true? We did a little expose, on some of her relatives anyway. One of which was a member of the NAACP. Candace, all your relatives weren't, as broken heart up as you claim. This is ridiculous. But yet it's still, your cousin said you lied like hell, Candace. Your cousin said the one she claims she's close with, that she uses as, I guess, a deterrent to somebody, she's supposed to be threatening. That's the only reason why she keeps her around. I guess her cousin's supposed to be threatening to other people. Child, please. Oh my God, Candace, you keep lying about your background. It's so stupid.
There was no nonsense. He's picked cotton before. There was no nonsense. He grew up with the real KKK, right? Not, I don't like the president, so we're going to say the KKK's back and now black people can't go outside. The real KKK.
And yet she made this claim about him and all Jewish people. And she has literally used the race card, blamed discrimination, said people were racist. Jewish people are responsible for slavery. Oh my God. Candace. It's funny how this has aged horribly against you, Candace. This was 6 years ago, you all. 6 years ago. She's already basically knocked the idea of TPUSA touring college campuses. Calling the kids toddlers and brats and spoiled and entitled. Talking about it was a bit of a nightmare. Oh, really? Funny how Blexit is no longer operable. And TPUSA acquired it. TPUSA acquired Blexit. They bailed her dumbass out and acquired Blexit. And they didn't have to do that. They could have left her high and dry. Now you on your own with that one. You in a hole by 1.72 million? Girl, bye. What you been doing with all the money? I mean, the first good year or so we saw on the tax filers, Candace brought in about, like 5-6 million. All she knows how to do is fundraise. The majority of her so-called consultants were LLCs that went back to social media fundraising LLCs and a security detail. Candace, why did you have Parlor Inc. connected to Blexit again? You care to share that?
And even when he tells us those stories, when he tells us the stories of what it was like with the KKK, he never sounds like a victim. It's exactly how he used to say. He used to say, my daddy, the KKK used to come around our house, and my daddy would grab the shotgun and shoot back at them boys. Talk about that. Power. There was no victimhood. And the amazing thing is, he married my grandmother when they were 17 years old, came up north, married my grandmother, and never once in their household did my grandfather say anything bad about white people. I wasn't raised to view myself as less than. I simply...
But you did. You came out on Russell Brand's show and said you went the first time you saw a white girl, blonde hair, blue out white girl living well off. You went to her house and she had maids. She lived in this big ass house. You can't stand Erica Kirk. You said Jewish people are responsible for slavery. Candace. Oh, God.
He never learned how to be a victim. That's the way things were. That wasn't the society that I grew up in.
This is not. I want
Instead,
proof for all
this
I
is
know her
shocking. My,
styles.
my
I want
grandparents
proof.
believed in some other stuff, really crazy stuff, I'll tell you. First and foremost, they believed in God, right? Faith, something bigger than themselves. When I was growing up, we used to have these my grandpa used to fix big Southern breakfasts. I should be overweight. He used to grits, eggs, bacon, pancakes, hot chocolate every single morning around the table. And we'd have to read from the Bible.
I want to interview her grandfather. This can't be real. I just, Candace, once again, when you're a pathological liar, it's the little lies, Candace, using your words against you. See, it's the little lies for me that grow into bigger lies that become mountain lies. And then next thing you know, your lies are the size of a whole planet. Next thing you know, your lies are the size of a galaxy. And then your lies are somehow tapping into some alternate reality. Now you've got multiple universes of lies coming from you. And not one time does the candy ass cult members think, you know what? Can you just show evidence of that? Stop telling us this stuff and show it. Prove it. Prove it, Candace. Show us the evidence. Otherwise, all of this is some BS. Somehow the background story keeps changing. Yet you went and lived with a boyfriend for 6 months, Candace. So either you live with your grandfather or you live with some boyfriend because you and your mama didn't get along. When did your grandfather get up and prepare breakfast for you like this? If you were living with a boyfriend for 6 months, when did that happen? So you think your grandfather would be okay with you living with a boyfriend for 6 months, Candace, at 14 years old? You really think he would be okay with that? I want to interview her grandfather. Sir, do you know your granddaughter's going around here saying that she was kicked out the house and had to live with her boyfriend for 6 months? What was your grandfather at then, Candace? When you were living with that boyfriend, what was your grandfather? Why didn't he let you stay with him? You see why lying, it doesn't get you anywhere, Candace? Because, see, we use it against you. And then we just throw it right back in your face. How is it possible that you got put out at 14 years old, lived with a boyfriend for 6 months, but yet you stayed with your grandfather and he fixed you what sounds like a 6-7 course meal plus hot chocolate every day? But somehow he didn't want you to live with him for 6 months and you had no other choice but to live with some boyfriend at 14 years old as a minor child. You want us to believe that, Candace? Because you sure damn said it. I'm so glad her cousin called her out on it.
Me and my brothers and sisters, we'd have to read from the Bible every single morning. He'd go around and he'd ask us questions. We were on our best behavior. I was scared because as a child, I believed that through my grandfather's praying, he had an instant direct line to God. And when we would act up, he would incorporate us into the prayer. And I always tell this story, and he might not remember it, but one night I was cold, so I got up in the middle of the night and I turned the heat up.
That means you making it up. Dear Candace Owens' grandfather, I would love to interview you and get your side of the story because your granddaughter lies like hell is hot. And we're not inclined to believe her. Is her grandfather alive? Y'all know? How do we get in touch with him? This is crazy. Candace, you lived with a boyfriend for 6 months. When did all of this happen with your grandfather? Is he still alive? Oh my God. Google says she just lied. No brothers. He passed away. That's Robert Owens Sr. Okay, cool. All right. Thank you for letting me know. Confirming that no reply. Who's her father? Is her father still alive? Or her mother? Candace, you do realize being put out of the house at 14 years old would have opened up a social services investigation. CPS or DFACS would have went to your mama's house and questioned her as to why you got put out at 14. Laws back then were still the same as they are now. You can't put a 14-year-old out the house. You're considered a minor. You're dependent. By law, we're not permitted as parents to just put our kids out like that. And you're minors. When did her grandfather pass away? Because otherwise, man, this is crazy. They're both gone. Her grandmother and grandfather. He passed away. Her grandfather would have never allowed that to happen. That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't have never let her go and stay with some boyfriend for 6 months. Unless he died when that occurred. I want to interview. Is her mother alive? I know, right? ESG. It just like Swiss cheese. They just full of holes. She'll conveniently say, "Oh my God, Candace, you really think that you saying that you live with a boyfriend for 6 months and your mother didn't intervene, your aunts, your uncles, you didn't have any other relatives that intervened and say, hey, nah, we don't want you staying with no boyfriend. You come live in with us. We don't want you to get over there and get pregnant." Candace, did you have an abortion? Was it a boy or girl? Oh, this is crazy as hell. We might as well ask her all these questions because Candace making it and most of this up. He may not remember. And that's what I got confused about. He might not remember this. So when did her grandfather die? Y'all know? Her grandmother died 2013. Robert Lee Owens Sr. died 2023. Yeah, no, he would never have allowed her to go out and live with some boyfriend for 6 months. Now, you see, Candace, it does not behoove you to lie. I keep trying to tell you, dumbass, that I can't interview him, but you saying that you were put out at 14 years old and he died in 2023? No, he would have never allowed that to happen. He would not have allowed you to go and live with some boyfriend for 6 months at 14 years old. The man just died 3 years ago. And she's over 35. So, Candace, unless you lying like hell about your age, your grandfather would have never, ever allowed you to go live with some boyfriend for 6 months at 14. Plus, it's against the law to put out a minor child. It's still negligence. But this is crazy. And she said this was 6 years ago, people. So her grandfather was still alive. And she's talking about he might not remember this. But man, oh my God, Candace.
I believed that through my grandfather's praying, he had an instant direct line to God.
Google says 2021.
And when we would act up, he would incorporate us into the prayer. And I always tell this story, and he might not remember it, but one night I was cold, so I got up in the middle of the night and I turned the heat up in our room. Me and my sister had bunk beds, and you weren't supposed to play with the heat in Granddad's house, but I played with the heat. I couldn't read it, but we woke up and it was very hot. And I went down for breakfast and you know, I said good morning, because if we didn't say good morning, he wouldn't serve us our plate. You couldn't get food. So you sit around, everybody else got a plate. What? You couldn't get your food if you didn't say good morning. But I said good morning. I was ready for my plate. Granddad broke out into prayer, and he won't believe what he did. He said, "Dear Heavenly Father, please help Candace to realize she shouldn't be finishing with the heat." I got up from the table and I ran and I started crying. And I just said, "Why did you have to tell God?"
Why would he not remember that?
The family?
Candace, stop. Why would he not remember that? Candace, why would he not remember that? Of all the stories you could have picked out, that's the one you picked out. Unless you turned on the heat every day, this would be a rare occurrence. Meaning, it's something that would be more unforgettable. You wouldn't forget something like this because it barely happens. And if you remember this, you've never talked about this to your grandfather before. So you mean to tell me it wasn't until now when you're standing in front of this crowd at Blexit, whatever the hell this is, that you recall this story, but you never recalled this story with your grandfather alone? You're saying he might not remember this? How long had it been since you talked to him? Candace, were you talking to your grandfather 6 years ago? Or did you cut him off? How did this go? You know, he would have had to watch this before he passed away and was like, wait, what? Why would she say I would remember that if it's true? But see, Candace, this is why, being a pathological liar does not bode well for you. Because no one is obligated to trust that what you're saying is truth. And now your grandfather is not here on earth to even give his side of the story on that. And you've already said you probably wouldn't even remember it. So that's an indication you made it up. God, please tell us why Candace Owens keeps lying. And why she thinks that she gets to come back to the U.S. to try to tell us that Russia is better than the United States of America. Can't make this up.
You ever tell God? That fear, right? Of my grandfather's rules and knowing that there was something bigger that was watching me, that had to put me on my best behavior. In the end, that's what saved me, but not in the beginning. Because when I went to school, I was embarrassed about that. It wasn't cool to be a person that said, oh, we read the Bible this morning. You don't say that in school. You don't say that in secular America. It's not cool to read the Bible in the morning. It's not cool to talk about praying. And I went down a very liberal route. I say this all the time. I took the most liberal route to conservatism there ever was. I was embarrassed of how faithful my grandparents were. All of that embarrassed me. But by the grace of God, I was saved. I really was.
When? Candace, when did you get saved?
Those things that felt like freedom, going out, sneaking out, doing what you wanted to do, partying, drinking, right? Experimenting, all of that thing that felt like freedom, eventually it started to feel like bondage. It started to feel like bondage. What is it about liberalism? It's so free that you feel like you're being enslaved somehow, right? You look up and you have nothing. You don't believe in family. You don't believe in faith because YOLO, you're free. Well, what do you have to show for any?
But Candace, you can't say that. You had a grandfather, a grandmother, a mother, and a father. You had a two-parent household. Even if it was your grandfather and your grandmother, you still had a mother and father influence. So what are you talking about? When did you get saved, Candace? Yeah, this is why you don't say cliche things, because it comes back and bites you in the butt. And yet somehow the word of God that speaks about not attacking widows and supporting and defending them has gone over Candace's head. You think she really cares about what's in the Bible? Candace still has not quoted one scripture here. So all these Blexit conferences and all this nonsense she had with Blexit, not one time has she actually said a prayer or read a scripture from the Bible itself. She's just saying it wasn't for the grace of God, I wouldn't stop turning off my grandfather's heat. If it wasn't for my faith in the grace of God, I would be, not appreciating him making me read the Bible because it wasn't cool for me to do it. Candace, do you know when you were born? When you went to school, teachers didn't stop kids from saying a prayer or saying the grace. If you read the Bible before school, Candace, none of your classmates needed to know. So whether you thought that was cool or not is irrelevant. It happened in your house. He didn't come up there to the school and make you recite Bible scriptures in front of the class, did he? Why would anyone at your school know that you're reading the Bible in the mornings before you leave home? How would they know that unless you're telling them that? Candace, if you felt you were going to be ostracized for that, why didn't you just keep it to yourself? It happened within the confines of your house. No one would have known that until you said something about it. So for you to be embarrassed by that, Candace, when you didn't even have to divulge that information, that just goes to show you just didn't want to read the Bible. What a moron she is. She's a demon.
If you don't have a family intact. My grandfather's a happy story because when he retired, him and my grandmother moved back down south to Fayetteville, North Carolina, where he started, and he purchased the property, the sharecropping farm that he grew up on. That
I want evidence.
Is the American dream, right? That's the American dream. And you're going to tell me that he grew up in the 1940s in the segregated South and did that, and I'm going to act like I'm oppressed. I'm supposed to go outside and act like I'm oppressed. Nope, I'm an overprivileged American. It's what everybody's suffering from. In America, we are suffering.
What you mean? In the beginning, you said that the college kids were like toddlers acting overprivileged. And now you're saying you were an overprivileged American? Now you want to say you're American? 6 months ago, you said you would rather be Russian. So at the beginning of the conversation, it was, I went out on these things and asked kids, how many of y'all still feel oppressed? Feel like racism still exists? 60% would raise their hands like she would know what 60% of the room looked like. 60% raised their hand. And now she's embracing being overprivileged? Did y'all hear this? Candace, where's the evidence that your grandfather bought the house?
To Fayetteville, North Carolina, where he started, and he purchased the property, the sharecropping farm that he grew up on. That is the American dream, right? That's the American dream. And you're going to tell me that he grew up in the 1940s in the segregated South and did that, and I'm going to act like I'm oppressed. I'm supposed to go outside and act like I'm oppressed. Nope, I'm an overprivileged American. It's what everybody.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that, Candace. See, I'm going to change the title of this live stream to Candace Owens. I'm an overprivileged American, in quotes. Yep. That's going to be the title of this live stream because unfortunately, this is the only video I'll be able to get through. But this is it. Yep. Candace Owens, in your own words, I am an overprivileged American. Because you're standing here proving the moot point. That's stupid. I don't know what the hell she's trying to say at this point. Because she started out with saying that college kids were toddlers and spoiled because they felt that they were privileged. And now you're standing here confessing to be an overprivileged American. And they're clapping that on. They're not sitting there scratching their head like, wait a minute. Didn't she say in the beginning that being privileged was bad? Wasn't she knocking the college kids she claims were acting privileged? Now she's bragging about it. What the hell are we doing? Candace, you're so stupid.
Suffering from. In America, we are suffering from peace. We don't know what to do with the fact that everything is okay if we just take a deep breath and get from peace to work.
Yeah, who says that? We're suffering from peace. Other than the devil himself. Candace, the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Peace being one of those things. Why do you have a problem with people being at peace? What kind of statement is that to make? What is your point, you dumb demon? Get off our planet.
And act like I'm oppressed. Nope, I'm an overprivileged American. It's what everybody's suffering from. In America, we are suffering from peace. We
are suffering from peace. Is that why you're in Russia? Because you believe that Americans are suffering from peace? So you want chaos and confusion? You want a bunch of noise and disturbance? What the hell is your point, Candace? You say dumb things. This makes no sense. America, we are suffering from peace. Somehow, no one else has ever said that in human history. Or at least since the U.S. has been a country. Have y'all ever heard somebody say this? Have any of you ever heard anyone say that we are suffering from peace in America? If you've heard someone say that, please tell me. Send me the video link where you've heard anyone else ever say some dumb shit like this. It's so dumb. Candace, this is so stupid. He said, we are suffering from peace. Lord have mercy. Ah, Jesus, keep me near the cross. This girl said, we are suffering from peace. What? No, that's something we pray. You know, Candace, you got people that pray to God to grant them peace. People pray for peace. A peace that surpasses all understanding. And you're saying we're suffering from it? No, we're not. Good grief. It's rambling. This is what happens when you talk about you can hear demons squealing, Candace. Somehow Candace has morphed into someone that admitted to being an alien. And that she can hear demons squealing and thinks she can talk with the dead in her visions. Man, Candace, you're insufferable. Oh, we're almost done. I have never heard anyone say that. You know, we in America, boy, y'all are suffering from peace over there. You can't make this stuff up. Candace, what demon in hell told you to say that? They actually had you believe that was a good idea to repeat that nonsense? Boy, Lucifer playing some jokes on her. You can't make this up. In America, we are suffering from peace. No, we're not. You and the devil are both a liar, Candace. People out here praying for peace. Want peace in their homes, peace in their jobs, peace in their minds, peace in their spirit. And you're sitting here saying Americans are suffering from it. The audacity. Don't put your problems out on us. Once again, where are those 2 degrees you claim you earned?
Know what to do with the fact that everything is okay if we just take a deep breath and get to work.
We can be at work and be at peace. Candace, you can very well have a job and still have peace in your workplace. As a matter of fact, we are deserving of that. People are deserving to go to work and be at peace at work, to be able to do their job in peace. You saying you want people to be harassed? What the hell do you mean? It's so dumb. And then the candy asses is trying to clarify what the hell she meant. No, that needs to come from Candace. Tell your dumb cult leader. She needs to clarify what she means when she say America is suffering from peace. Let her clarify that bullshit. It's still stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever. Why would you not want people to be at peace? Goodbye, Felicia.
I was super upset. Many of you guys know that I got married in August.
Goodbye. Why you go to UK with him?
I get to start my own family now and give them the same rules my grandfather gave me and incorporate my someday children into the prayer.
Candace, if you do that, I'm going to call defects on you. And I don't believe that your grandfather withheld a meal because you didn't say good morning. I find that hard to believe. You don't even read the scripture or say a prayer. If you start withholding a meal from your kids because, you know, you want to sit here and actually try to literally uphold some fictitious nonsense you just coming up with, you should be reported to DFACS and CPS in the state of Tennessee. Hello, CPS. Candace Owens is withholding breakfast and chocolate milk from her kids. She's not giving them that hot cocoa she made. She's just putting the food out in front of them on the table and enticing them. But if they don't say good morning, she don't feed them. Can y'all go over there? Yes, the Battery Trust Lane House. The Battery Lane Trust, my bad. Battery Lane Trust House. One of them. George is in the other one. Can't make this up. Candace, did your grandfather really withhold a meal from you? What if you couldn't talk? You were hoarse, or you had sore throat, or you just didn't say it because, you know, you're like 4 years old. Like, what if you didn't say it? So you mean to tell me you didn't get any food if you did not say good morning? Candace, you understand what you're implying with this? Oh my God. Do you and your kids read the Bible? Because Candace, that means you should be able to recite a scripture off the top of your head. That word have I hidden in my heart, so I may not sin against it. That's the whole point of studying the scriptures at a young age even. that when you grow up, you don't depart from it. See, what I'm saying is biblically aligned, Candace. Now let's hear you cite one scripture other than Jesus wept.
And scare them. And at my wedding,
she gets to scare
my
them.
grandfather was supposed to walk me down the aisle, and a couple of days before he had dialysis treatment, and he couldn't make it, and I was devastated on the day of my wedding. So I haven't seen him since my wedding, but he's here tonight, my grandfather.
I wish I could have interviewed that man.
Stand up, granddaddy.
You hadn't seen him since your wedding?
Before he starts praying and gets, you guys are going to be in trouble. I still don't put my elbows on the table when I eat. I want you to know that.
He's not laughing at all. He's like, wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with prayer now. Don't mock prayer. Candace, my grandmother would have told me that. My grandmother would have told me flat out. That's not mock prayer. The aspect of praying. Why are you mocking it? If I wanted to pray for everybody in here, I can. Like, that's what my grandmother would have told me. She was a prayer warrior. The formal title is intercessory prayer warrior. She prayed for others before she prayed for herself. Your grandfather believes in the power of prayer. Why would you even make that type of joke? And yet Candace will not say one prayer or recite one scripture. So Candace, you didn't memorize any scripture in the Bible that you can just recite off the top of your head. Book, chapter, and verse, plus the scripture, and cite it correctly. You're not able to do that at all, Candace? Boy, this is something else. Why didn't you see your granddad before the wedding? I see dialysis. He had dialysis treatment. Candace, why didn't you go visit him at the hospital? You didn't go with him to the hospital?
Days before he had dialysis treatment, and he couldn't make it, and I was devastated on the day of my wedding. So I haven't seen him since my wedding, but he's here tonight, my grandfather.
Why you didn't go see him? Candace, this is ridiculous, man.
Stand up, granddaddy.
Shout out to Robert Owens Sr. I would have loved to interview him.
Be careful before he starts praying and gets, you guys are going to be in trouble. I still don't put my elbows on the table when I eat. I want you to know that, Granddad. I'm good. But we thought to end this Brexit rally, since the movement is really about courage and love, and my grandfather couldn't be there, and no one has seen it, we would play the video from my wedding so my grandfather can see what it was. So cue the wedding video.
Candace, I don't want to see the wedding video. We can see it anytime. You didn't look devastated at all, girl. Candace, you didn't look devastated at all. I had to silence the music in case it's copyrighted. Candace, is that your dad walking you down the aisle? Funny how she didn't look devastated. They look like they just met. And that's the look of two people getting married as if they just met and barely know each other. George Farmer, did you ever imagine in your mind, one day I'm going to have to explain thunder and lightning to her? Did you ever think that, George? You would have to explain to her where thunder comes from? Or the freezing point of water? Did that ever cross your mind? That one day I'm going to have to ask my damn wife in this lavender marriage, what do you mean by that when she says that she's not worried about the lightning? She's not worried about the thunder. It's the lightning that's the problem. Did you ever imagine that you would have to explain to her thunder and lightning? That didn't cross your mind at all, George? Did you not ask her, hey, just, for shits and giggles, can you tell me the freezing point of water? You didn't think to ask her that one time? Or how to pronounce the word beret? Or bureau? Or Moscow? She's saying Moscow. You know what she's saying, George, and you didn't correct her at all? Well, this is priceless. Candace, thunder is the sound of lightning. See, that's because science is still real. George, did you ever imagine that you would have to explain thunder and lightning to her? Oh my God. What is something else? So she winging it. She don't look sad at all. Not at all. Neither one of them even worried about it. You don't see her somewhere talking about, I need to call my grandfather. Yeah, man, that ain't the sad person that's thinking about their grandfather having dialysis. He's like, no, don't want to kiss. One time, that's it. No, I said once. Did y'all see that? Look how he try to pull back. He's like, wait. Candace, he told you, look, maximum 3 kisses for the entire wedding. If you want to waste those kisses at the reception, that's on you. But you're only getting 3. I told you, I made that perfectly clear. No nothing. No romance. No whole hand holding. No kissing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just nothing there. I make that perfectly clear from the beginning. Candace, he say you got a maximum. Now I give you 4 times. You got a maximum 4 times to kiss me. Now you could split that up. 2 times at the wedding, 2 times at the reception. 4 is the max. It looked like she reached her kissing max. She reached the maximum number of kisses for the day. Y'all, look at this. He's like, oh, good. He's like, oh, no, I told you once. He's like, yeah, so many times. Y'all, he is not happy right now. This dude, he like mad, he going off. Like, no, he's trying to get. Why do you keep kissing me? Candace, you don't look sad at all. Oh my God, yeah, he was not happy with that. Oh, like Ami Kobe said, George wants a sandwich, but not the one she's making. I know. No, I'm not putting this in that. Candace, you reached your kissing maximum with George. You was like, oh, I told you once. He was trying to hang out with the boys club. He wasn't studying you. She dancing with everybody else but her relatives. Where her family at? Candace, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Is this the rest of this video? Oh, Candace, it's the music. Take that damn music off of it. Okay, no. Like, that's 2. That's 3. I'll make it a little longer. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I had to
go out, pursue your love. Oh my God, she's crying. So cute. Everybody go out, get your happily ever after, and remember that Blexit is love. At the end of the day, we got love.
And Blexit is bankrupt. Oh, Candace, can I get on you about the strings? No. Erica Kirk can't have fireworks and lights and strobes and music. You get to have silly string. And you want us to be okay with that after you got through going in on Erica Kirk and her fireworks and light show? Your silly string is hard to get out sometimes, especially if it gets somebody hair. So you get to do this, and we're not supposed to have a problem with it. Erica Kirk makes a grand entrance, and all hell breaks loose. It's the hypocrisy for me. Candace, you are so ridiculous. This is the same thing that she knocked Erica Kirk for. When Erica Kirk did the TPUSA convention, oh, how dare they come out and let her come out with the lights and the fireworks. And Charlie Kirk would have never liked that, even though he did the same thing. She comes out with lights and music and strobes and now silly string. And somehow, oh no, that's completely different. No, it's the grand effect. She came out to a probing light show and all this other nonsense with the music and all of that. Why knock Erica Kirk for doing the same thing? Or are you mad because she still is the CEO of TPUSA, Candace? Because that's what you're really mad about. You see her trying to be like TPUSA here in Blexit. And then they turned around and bailed you out, Candace. When they should have investigated your ass and asked you, why would you spend over $550,000 on security detail? The hell is wrong with you? You got these LLCs, one of which is going back to Inc. So you raising money for Parlor Inc. and paying an LLC attached to Parlor Inc. over $200,000. Why? George don't know how to make his own money. That's in the tax filings. You can't make that up. Y'all can look at all 3 years. We've already gone over it in the Lady Luck Club. Check out my videos where we break down the tax filings of Blexit. Candace, I did that for a reason, you dumbass. But no, it's okay if she has silly string and light shows and all this other stuff for these Blexit, whatever this is. Erica Kirk does it with TPUSA. It's blasphemous, I guess, to her. Why she still can't quote one scripture or say a whole prayer. Girl, bye, Felicia.
Every time.
Oh, now you got music too? Can't make this up. Okay. I can't play the music, y'all. It might be copyrighted. Look at this. Look at all that silly string. Now get this stuff out of my hair. I don't know what that. This is crazy. Y'all saw Brandon Tatum? His clown ass. He's such a coward. You had people that actually believed in this girl, and this girl ran Blexit in the ground within 3 years. Two fiscal years. Within 2 fiscal years, she had ran Blexit in the ground. And TPUSA bailed her out. She was in the hole by $1.72 million within 2 fiscal years. Candace, that's ridiculous. She acted like a celebrity. Exactly. How do you go do something like this and you showing your wedding photo? Candace, you do realize that's something that people could have watched on their own. You were supposed to be talking about something. And half the time you sitting up there making up stuff that happened, you know, so-called in your past and your history, where you did not provide any evidence to even support any of that BS came out of your mouth. And then you show your wedding video, something that people can watch. So these people went to this Blexit event just to sit back and watch Candace's wedding video. That's so damn ratchet, it's not even funny. They didn't get their money's worth. Can y'all imagine her so-called speaking to her in Australia? She probably would have showed y'all her wedding video. She would have dogged out TPUSA Erica Kirk and would have just showed her wedding video all over again. Like, we can't watch that on our own. Good grief, Candace. I'm just shocked at her saying that it was a bit of a nightmare to go around on college campuses to speak about conservatism, which is the entire business model of TPUSA.
Floor that I get to say it on this stage tonight. It's going to be extra special. But, for me, running around the nation and speaking on college campuses has been something like a nightmare.
It's been something like a nightmare. This is the whole business model of TPUSA. She said this 6 years ago. Candace, now we understand why Charlie Kirk unfriended you and unfollowed you on social media. You're literally right here attacking the whole model of TPUSA. And we all know who you're talking about because you only did that with TPUSA. Thankfully, she only worked for TPUSA for 19 months. She's not a mason. She's not a builder. She did nothing. She used that man's credit card to book a flight to the UK. That's what she did. Other than that, nothing Candace did was beneficial. Especially when you turn around and try to take a hit and dig at it with saying this BS. If it was a bit of a nightmare, who told you to keep working for them? This isn't showing anybody that I had a great experience. I learned a lot. We had a lot of great debates. Got a lot of ideas exchanged. Spirit of the First Amendment was alive and well. Nope, it was a bit of a nightmare. This is the terminology that she's using to describe that experience while she worked for TPUSA. It was a bit of a nightmare. Of all the words she could use, she said nightmare. Not educational. Not eye-opening. Or she could have just said it was very unique. Nope, she said it was a bit of a nightmare. Candace. Who, child? And these people think that she really cares about Charlie Kirk. No, she don't. She's been dogging about 6 years ago. Taking jabs at it. Because she never went on college campus tours with Blexit. She didn't do that. She only did it with TPUSA. She didn't do that with the Daily Wire. She did not do that with PragerU. Only with TPUSA. And somehow that was a nightmare for her. No one told you to keep working for him either, Candace. But this is how she chose to describe her experience at. So why she acting like, I want to revitalize the relationship that I had with Charlie Kirk. Hopefully, if Tucker Carlson becomes president, one day I'll be dictator. And we'll be just like how Charlie and I was back in the day. But you're saying here was a nightmare. So why would you want to go back to that? See, Candace, I told you, you dumb heifer. I would use your words against you because I see through you. This is what she felt 6 years ago. And now all of a sudden, she wants to relive those days through Tucker Carlson being somebody's presidential candidate. Because it's not going to be the United States of America. We're not in the mood. This is mind-numbing to hear this. I'm so glad we checked this out. She said it was a nightmare. She didn't have to deal with it. She could have just quit. But now what does she do? Sit back and harbor all this vindication and revenge like a scorned woman. Because Charlie Kirk didn't marry her. He didn't pick her. He fired her and told her to kick rocks. But he still bailed her out with Blexit. All for what? For her to stand here and say this nonsense, knowing damn well she's talking about TPUSA. Can't make this up. I appreciate all of you all for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for the support. I appreciate it. I do have a busy day tomorrow and Sunday, but if I can, I will try to go live because we have a video I want to check out with this Medium thing because it's just unbelievable the list people will go through to get clicks and views and subs and all this stuff. You got some dude running around talking about, he can channel and harness the spirit of Charlie Kirk, who's deceased. Oh, Lord, it's disturbing from what I've seen. So I do want to go over that with you all. Shout out to the Eclectic Journalist for doing that video as well. But we'll get that in a separate live. So look out for the notification. If I'm able to go live tomorrow, I will. It will be late, but I'll do it. I appreciate you all. Y'all hit that like button. Make sure you hype this video up when it's done. And thank you all so much for the support. Keep me in your prayers, as I will with you all. And you all have a great weekend and spend time with your family and your kids and all that good stuff. Okay. We try to go out and make it an actual event to do something with your children, to spend time with your family this weekend. All right. Even if it's movie night, do it on purpose. Be attentional. Appreciate you all. Y'all hit the like button, and I appreciate y'all. Until the next one, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.